once more. A warp core breach on this galactic shore. We wait for comms, Latinum's our plea. In this buggy cosmos, we're Starfleet, you see. Star Trek Fleet Commando, the lags are full. Bugs that vanish, then return to show. Compensation chests, they come and go. 7 years of crashes. Still we boldly so raise your tricorder to the stars. We strive through endless bugs. We keep the fleet alive. 7 years of chaos, yet we'll never fall.
I logged in again, full of hope and dread. Server lag hits like a photon to the head. My ship's stuck in warp, my crew's gone rogue, and the bug report's buried under code. Armada's glitch, rewards don't drop. The leaderboard froze at the very top. I tap and I tap, but nothing responds. It's like the devs beamed out and moved on. We send tickets, we beg and plead, but all we get is thanks we'll read. The galaxy's cracked and we're losing grip, but we still grind, we're in too deep. Oh, SDFC, you break my heart. Every patch just tears it apart. You say fixes coming, but they never do. We're stuck in a loop and we blame you. Oh, SDFC, we still play on, even when everything's gone wrong. We're captains of chaos, flying blind in a game that's left us behind. Alliance chat's a therapy zone. We meme the bugs, we cry, we groan. The refinery's stingy, the events are cursed, and the lag hits hardest when you need it worst. I try to upgrade, but the screen went black. Lost my mats, no way to get them back. The dev block says we hear your voice, but all I hear is static noise. We rage, we laugh, we threaten to quit, then log back in, yeah, we're full of it. The stars are broken, the code's a mess, but quitting now, that's just weakness. Oh, SCFC, you break my heart. Every patch just tears it apart. You say fixes coming, but they never do. We're stuck in a loop and we blame you. Oh, SCFC, we still play on, even when everything's gone wrong. We're captains of chaos, flying blind in a game that's left us behind. We dream of balance, a smoother play, of bugs that vanish, not just delay. But until that day, we'll raise our voice in laggy space. We've made our choice. Oh, SCFC, you break my heart, but we've made this mess a work of art. You say fix is coming, but we know the drill. We'll be here grinding against our will. Oh, SCFC, we still play on, even when everything's gone wrong. We're captains of chaos, flying blind in a game that's left us behind. So here's to the broken, the bug, the betrayed, to the players who stay. Though the game's decay, we're still out here, stars in our eyes, waiting for fixes and watching them die. Out in deep space, late night stream glow. Warp engines humming, green skin undertow. Fleet command charts on a cracked hollow screen. Undid eyes focus, sharp and keen. The legends know when MJ streams, the numbers grow. Zombie captain never sleeps, grinding galaxies while the universe creeps. From the bridge to the stars he stands, a helmet in one hand, a mic in the other hand. Zombie space captain, rise from the void, brains on cooldown, fleets deployed, booms in the cosmos, never alone, commanding the stars from a streamer's throne. Zombie space captain, fighting the night, wrestling gravity, holding the line, undead legend with a heart of gold, a great father first. Now that's the road. Off-stream bell rings, ding, ding, ding. Wrestling fan when the ropes start to swing. From pile drivers to power bomb lore, he knows every pop, every crowd roar. Stories, heroes and heels, same passion as when a fleet congeals. Knows when to sell, knows when to stand. Life's a match, he's got it planned. Whether space or squared circle lights, he shows up ready every fight. Zombie space captain, rise from the void, brains on cooldown, fleets deployed, booms in the cosmos, never alone, commanding the stars from a streamer's throne. Zombie space captain, fighting the night, wrestling gravity, holding the line, undead legend with a heart of gold, a great father first. Now that's the road. Hey, 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 hey. But when the stream fades, screens go black, there's a quieter strength that's got his back. Teaching, guiding, leading with care. Real world hero, always there. No leaderboard tracks, that kind of win. No title bell for where he's been. But every bedtime story told outshines the stars, brighter than gold. Zombie space captain, hear the cheer, fleet command legend, always sincere. Wrestling fan with the father's grace, undead king with the human face. Zombie space captain, this one's true. The greatest title belongs to you. Across the stars or close to home, you wear that crown. MJ had a love. Yeah, 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 MJ had woke up with a mission on his mind. Op67 is shining like a summit he's gotta climb. Scrapping every ship, every part, every core, grinding those dailies till his fingers get sore. He's got spreadsheets open, calculators on fire, every upgrade pushing him a little bit higher. While the galaxy sleeps, he's still online, chasing that level like it's written in his spine. He's on the race to 70, nothing gonna slow him down. MJ hats, engines roaring like a king without a crown. Every note, every research, every hostile he'll destroy. Op-70 calling like a victory convoy. Yeah, he's grinding through the chaos, never losing track. MJ hats on the rise and he ain't looking back. Alliance chat buzzing, bro, you're almost there. MG hat just laughs, says give me one more repair. Armories humming, docks line tight, ships fueled up for another long night. Events dropping, he farming like a beast from the Alpha Quadrant to the farthest east. Every chest he opens is another step one. Op-7 ain't a goal, it's a destiny run. He's on the race to 70, nothing gonna slow him down. MJ hats, engines roaring like a king without a crown. Every note, every research, every hostile he'll destroy. Op7, they call it like a victory convoy. Yeah, he's grinding through the chaos, never losing track. Empty hats on the rise, and he ain't looking back. Some players stall, some players quit, but MJ had he was built for this grit. Through lag, through bugs, through the endless grind, he keeps pushing forward with a champion's mind. He's on the race to 70, the finish line in sight. MJ hats warp trail blazing like a comet in the night. When that upgrade hits, the whole alliance will cheer. MJ had made it happen, the legend's finally here. Op7 unlocked and the galleys knows the fact. He climbed the mountain and he ain't looking back.
Man, I have got to say, that right there is absolute fire. Ooh, my mic's too loud. Let me turn that down just a wee bit. That right there is absolute fire. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Welcome in. It's honestly, thank you for talking about it, the House of Mar Talk. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, Chuck Norris, may he rest in peace. I don't know how to react to that because my whole life I've grown up. It's it Chuck Norris was always the man, you know. Norris could stare at the sun and win a staring contest, you know. Who's Chuck Norris? Austin, you break my heart with that. You break my heart with that, dude. You know who Chuck Walker, Texas Ranger. Is that better for you? Come on, I know you know who Chuck Norris is. Bro, this guy, I swear. Yes, he was, Wally. He was a wonderful actor, and you know, and I don't do this very often, but hats off to this guy because he really was just so much respect for the man. So, you know, it is a thing. Delta Force, yeah, that's a good one. One doesn't kill Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris kills one. That's very valid, Destros. That's very. Chuck Norris didn't do push-ups. He pushed the earth down. That's good, Jeff. That's great. Guys, welcome in. Again, I apologize for the delay. I'm running a little bit behind today. Hey, C, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. No, Ostis, like the TV show, Walker, Texas Ranger. He played in all kinds of stuff, man. You've never heard Chuck Norris jokes. Ostis, if you're being truthful with me right now, which I don't think you are, but if you're being truthful with me, I am very disappointed. Society has failed me. It has failed me. So, just... Oh, okay. Well, that's funny. That's funny. You're not a fan of humor? See, I thought you were a sense of humor kind of guy. I don't think that Austria is from the States. The Austrian? I don't think that Austrian is from the States. Yeah, he did a lot, man. Like, there was a ton of movies he did. We are trying to do some new stuff. Ostis is from the States. He lives up northeast coast, if memory serves. Chuck Norris jokes were the gist of 90s and noughties memes. Yeah, that's true, Destros. Way of the Dragon, also a good movie. You're in Texas, then you know who fucking Chuck Norris is, dude. Why you bullshitting? Why you bullshitting? Why you bullshitting? Come on now. It's good to see you guys. There, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about. I'm gonna get the music started in the background. Song requests are up. Dungeons are free this weekend. Well, with channel points, you know, as best as one can do. Let me see. Can we hear that? I think we can hear that. I saw one yesterday. 65 just turned into Chuck Norris. Yeah, well, at least it wasn't 67. Although he died at, what was it, guys? 82? I think that's the age. 82 years old. And, you know, that breaks my heart because really a staple of my childhood just gone. And that's going to happen more and more here the next 20 years or so. And I'm not looking forward to it, as I'm sure you guys aren't either. You know what I mean? Like, there's a... Oh, See, there we go. Boss fight, exclamation point, join. Get it in, quick, exclamation point, join. Austin, I'm gonna have to turn that down. I can tell. That's loud as fuck. Um, boom. Let me get in there with you. Uh, it is over top of the chat though. I don't know that I like that. I'll have to figure that out. Let me turn that down. Let me turn that down because that's really loud. Okay, that should be somewhat better. We're all gonna die. This is true. This is true. So yeah, dungeons and boss fights doable with channel points this weekend. I'm just trying something new, see if we can get a little more engagement on the dungeons and whatnot. I'll tell you what though, I am gonna move the chat since that's I can't just move the dungeons real quick. So 1940 to 2026. Wow, wow, man, I'm so glad somebody has that info on file. Here, let me just, I'm gonna put the chat, I'm gonna shrink it just a little bit, and I'm gonna put it right here, okay? That way we're not blocking the dungeons, because you know you can't see it through the white, and I don't want that. I don't want that. So, easy to move, easy to fix, no problem, no problem. It cost me bits to start that. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. It did cost you bits to start that. It shouldn't have, Ostis. I thought I set that up to where it wouldn't. I'm sorry. Where's my redeems? No, they're in channel points too. Oh no, boss fights aren't. Boss fights are not. It's just duels and dungeons. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Boss fights, I'm incorrect. It's duels that are channel points and dungeons, but not boss fights. Boss fights I couldn't change because I was going to do all three. So, I appreciate that, man. Although we lost because, you know, nobody ever does dungeons over here, so we need to level up some, I think. I think that's part of it. So I'll tell you what. We shouldn't be doing boss fights anyways. It's what I just said. That's what I just said, brother. Here, I'll start one. Boom. There you go. Exclamation point join. Get in on that dungeon. Yeah. So, lots to do. Lots to talk about. I know that the hot button issue right now is CoTA for people. And why did they bring it back? How dare they do that? And let's be honest, man. There were some good points made on both sides of the fence. And I have to be very clear on my stance on this because there's politics around it too. And I want to say this. Anytime we can get more of something, right? Anytime we can get more of something, it's a wonderful thing. And I'm not opposed to it. But that being said, the way they handled telling us about it, I think they went incorrectly. Hey guys, we're thinking about bringing CoTA back. Can we do a survey and see? Or, you know, it's our own fault. We brought it back. We complained enough for it to happen. Jeff, thank you. That's exactly what I'm getting at. I mean, yes, you're right. We did. We said, hey, we're upset about this. CoTA is something we hoard for every month. It's something we do every month. It's something we look forward to. It's a free amount of officer shards normally. We don't know what the currency is going to be yet on the next one. Let's be clear. I've listened to DJ stream twice now, as well as Nigel's. They're all missing why the outrage. I get the outrage, Ostis. It's like, okay, it's a good thing that they listen to feedback. I need to say that out loud. Ending date should have just been given instead of a stop. I agree. If they were going to do it again, right, then what they should have done is gave us a month to prepare. And I think there would be no outrage here whatsoever. You were agreeable on Nigel's stream. I thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. My opinion has not changed. It has not changed a bit, and Nigel has been very kind in letting me join him on STFC briefings, and that is a wonderful experience, by the way. That is not something he has. Oh, well, okay. Well, thanks, Ostis. You know I still love you, buddy. But I'm curious as to your thoughts. You are 1,000% welcome to join up on the Discord stage if you would like and come have a conversation about it. Or you can put it in chat. But I'm curious about all your thoughts, every one of you. So please do not be afraid. There is no wrong answers here. Let me be clear. I do want people to feel like they can come in and we can talk about whatever's going on. So please, please, Austin, you're more than welcome to. If you'll just come to the stage in the Doobie Den, I'll bring you right up, man. That would be fantastic. Let me make sure Discord is unmuted though, because I don't want you to come up and not be heard, because I'm not going to censor nobody. Wally says information gold, then arbitrary decision. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Uh, I'm not against them bringing it back though. Like I said, his more is more. Discord has been F, so we'll see. That's true. That's true. I mean, even stream together if you want to, man. I don't care. I don't care. Although I don't have, I'm not set up for that properly. But you know, Discord's easier. There you are. Hold on. Invite coming. Boom. There you go, Ostis. Come on up. Hey, buddy. Your mic's muted.
Hello.
Hey, man. What's happening?
Can you hear me okay? I've got a fan running in the background.
Yeah, you sound perfect to me. Let me make sure
Okay,
you're coming
cool.
through on stream, and you are. So go ahead.
All right. So after listening to Nigel's stream and then DJ's, I feel like, especially, I got super pissed at Griffin, um,
Mm-hmm.
and his stance, which that's fine. We're we're allowed to disagree, but everybody's point of view is coming from the pay to play or the G7 perspective, and they're not fully understanding. And I thought maybe you would be able to articulate sort of that free to play or very, very light spender. So
Yeah,
that perspective, and it just doesn't get relayed why we're all upset. Now, to be fair, nobody should be beating up Hammy, right? I mean,
absolutely
there's
not.
no excuse for that. I
Absolutely
100%
not.
agree with that. Nor would I ever. I would never get on any sort of Discord or anything and trash anybody. But
Right. Me neither.
events come and go. The problem with CoTA and the way they've handled all of this isn't, and I Lawson and DJs and Griffin, those guys don't have problems finishing this event. Griffin doesn't finish, or DJs doesn't finish it because he's not on enough, right? But he
Fair
could. He could
enough.
very easily. He's a G7 player. But
Right.
for us that are in G6 and G5 and G4, it is very, very, very difficult to finish, especially those last 2 days, which are all spend events, right?
Yeah. I very rarely do
Math
I
events.
finish that last one.
Yeah, of course. Well, the first couple of months, I couldn't finish those until I figured it out. I got to the point where I was high enough in G6 where I could start scrapping those. I could start scrapping those G5 ships or the G4s. You know, just building, and maxing all these G5 ships, right?
Rinse, cycle,
So
repeat until your hangar bay's full.
yes,
I got you.
correct. So I built a bunch of Ratarans and stuff like that, and all of a sudden now this event becomes huge for me because I can get these officers and I can get those 200 shards of these officers. These officers that are super hard to source and extremely important in the game. Maybe not right now, but they will be in the next few arcs.
Damn near
So
tier two. If I do say so myself,
I am
I've been.
yes,
Go ahead. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I am. Oh no, you're fine. I almost got Ilya to 3, and so because I won every SLB along the way on the last one. So for me, I love this event. So here's the rub of it, right? This events come and go, but for a free
Hmm.
to play or very light spender, I don't spend in the game very much. I just don't. I used to, but
Right.
being an ops 69, there's not really a whole lot that really does anything for me. I'm finding less and less to do in the game. But CoTA was the mother of all events. Name an event that's better than CoTA, except for maybe Alliance tournaments. But for me,
Hmm.
Alliance tournaments, I'm running out of stuff to spend on. There's not a lot I need in that store anymore. But
I'd say.
CoTA is give. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go
CoTA,
ahead and finish your thought.
CoTA is the best event, and took it. They pulled it, and it took in order to max that event out and get that officer to tier 2. You had to hoard for the whole month, or for me, even some of these specialty ships, I hoarded for 2 months. Right?
Right.
You dumped a bunch of your um, ship materials, didn't you, yesterday into one of your specialty ships, or two
The
days
morning
ago?
that the morning that they announced it, yes.
Yeah, the
Go
day
figure, right?
before. So exactly. Well, the evening before that, I took my Reliant, I maxed it. I took it up 3 tiers because I
Mm-hmm.
waited 2 weeks and was like, all right, there's these spend events are crap. They're not a good replacement so far. I'm getting very little rewards for any of this stuff that's coming out. I want to finish this Reliant, get it done. I took it up 3 tiers, and then the next day it comes out. So
Of
what I'm
oof.
getting at is yeah, that would have been the only ship I would have had to have done for the ship upgrade day. I already I the Squall, everything else is max except for the Dauntless and the which it's almost impossible to upgrade that thing. So
Yeah, it's so slow. So slow.
they take this event, the most beloved event, at least for, I would say, probably the G6 players, which was a massive officer source, and they took it away and then they bring it back one time, and we all know how this was all communicated. So these these G7 content creators, they're not understanding it. It maybe wasn't as important to them because they've got everything already maxed. They've kind of got all the officers. They're in a different area of the game. They have bigger fish to fry, more things to worry about. But for us in G6, especially, and I can't speak to G5, but you go on to any of these streams and pretty much everybody's G7 except for you and Shiz, right? But this event was super
Viper,
important and we
if I
loved it.
may.
Yeah, Viper,
Vi-
of course.
Viper's another G6 player, and
And
Scribbler's G5.
Ultravetica.
Yep, Ultra's got that lower account. There's several actually lower content creators coming in. C Engineering is in chat, and he says he's a G4 player, and he is. He's upper end G4. I've got a couple of things I need to catch up on in the chat here before we continue there, Austus. Jeff
Okay.
says he's G7, and he doesn't ever finish the last milestone on the last day. He also says the CMs are just the messengers. Don't shoot the messengers, which I 1,000% agree with. And Madroxhausen is here. That's funny. Uh, Wally said that you can't scrap G5, which I corrected him. I know you meant G4. The thing
She's
about
still
it
maxing
is,
them, building and maxing
yeah,
them. Yeah, yeah.
Max in the G5s. I agree with your insight here. A lot of people look forward to this every single month, and the fact that it was pulled was one thing. Okay, we accepted that. We were told it's not coming back. Great, sure, whatever. And a couple weeks go by. Nobody knows that behind the scenes there are several content creators that are actually saying, "Hey, people are pissed off about this," and they were. Okay, that really happened. I've seen it. People are pissed off about this, and they really enjoy CoTA as a mechanic in general because of the officer sourcing. And I get from a business standpoint why they axed it, and I'm not opposed to that. But at the same time, like like you said, the freeness of being able to source these incredibly hard to source officers. Thank you for your curse there. Appreciate that, Nigel. The freeness of being able to source these officers, that is something that is very unfortunate that it's been pulled. I'm with you, man. The fact that they're running into again, I'm not against that. And again, I've got to say, it's because more is more, right? Like no matter what, we weren't going to get another run. That was the original plan. So anything we get, we don't know what even is going to be. It might not be anything but Officer Depot tokens for that matter. Then how silly are people going to feel? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Jim Pie says timing. Wally says bring it back is just as bad as canceling the communication is all over the place. That's very true, Wally. Um, Somebody decided to cancel it. Let's be clear here. Somebody said, "Hey, we're canceling this," and then it got fought for. I I can see both sides of this argument from the business standpoint and from the player standpoint, let alone the content creator side of things. Because again, where people are at with this, I have to be very careful in how I address this. But I do want to talk about it, and I do want to be honest about my opinions. I said that was something I wouldn't quit doing, right? So this is important that we communicate and discuss. Grace Aber says Scopely can do what they want. It baffles me that after 7 years that they act surprised when they should know it will anger players. I gotta say, I gotta side with Wally here, which Wally's very vocal. I will say that, but I've got to side with him. Once they said it was canceled, they shouldn't have brought it back. And is that Hammy's bad? No, absolutely not. He was reacting to a reaction, right? Like no one should be beaten down on Hammy because Hammy did the right thing here. Okay. Am I excited about getting stuff? Sure, sure. But am I going to get what I could have gotten? No. No, because like you said, you and I both, we went through and we spent stuff. And that's a lot of the player base. We went through and we spent stuff. So the problem now
Well,
becomes with communication, right? How can we believe, oh, well, they said this is canceled and it's not coming back? Do we believe that the next time? You know what I mean?
no, okay, so you're right. There's that trust thing that's been beat to death. Everybody's complaining about trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone said that somebody said in DJ's stream that they were lied to, and they immediately were like, "No, you were not." And I kind of feel like I was lied to. I feel like we were all lied to because they did say it wasn't coming back. And I
Um,
understand. Look, they brought it back because we all complained, and
mm-hmm.
I know why they canceled it. We all know why they canceled it, right? It wasn't making
Yeah.
them the money. That's fine. I understand that. But you know how you
Because,
could have fixed this? If you're gonna bring it back in the end of next arc, not in
yes, sir.
less than a week.
Yes,
Give
sir.
us that time to rebuild those resources again so that we can have an opportunity to complete it. Just delay it. Say, look, okay, we heard you. We understand you're upset. We are still going to cancel this, but we will bring it back at the end of the following arc to let you guys be able, you hoarders or whoever wants to participate in it. And that's why I'm the most upset because I love that's the only event I look forward to. In the whole game, it's
Same.
the only event I look forward to, and I hoard and hoard and hoard because the rewards are so good. So for them to now just drop it on us, giving us I think a week's notice, that's not enough time,
Right.
and just we're bringing it back at the end of next arc. That probably, in my opinion, would have been the best option.
I
Other than
agree.
not bringing it back at all. Other than not bringing it back, but if you are going to bring it back, give those players the ability to start saving up now so that you can do well in that event. That's it. So that's my point of view, and I don't think anybody was articulating that. And I don't know, maybe I'm all alone on that, but
Uh,
again,
Actually, if I can read you some of the chat, Ostis. Gray Saber says I agree that a restart is not welcomed because now players feel cheated. Nigel tagged you and says you're spot on. CDB's in with the tab loaded. Appreciate that, CDB. Um, it's like when they ran Alliance tournaments with a 2 week break in between 3 times in a row, says Bacon Fish. It's
oh,
very
that's
similar
exactly
to that.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Um,
was rough.
yeah. Exclamation point join, guys. Get into the dungeons. Again, this weekend we're doing channel point dungeons. Try to stock up on some loot. So, Ostis again, man. I 1,000% agree with you. There is the best decision would have been okay. Let's do this next month, and I'm pretty sure that's what I said yesterday on briefings, and that's what I said last night in DJ's chat, and that's what I'm saying today on my own stream. Because
I
again, I'm
completely
with
missed
you.
that then. I
I
missed that.
I
If that's what you said, I totally missed that. So I apologize. I hadn't heard anybody say that. Like, look, if you want to bring it back, just give the players the time to hoard like they've been doing. Because that's the only way you can, it's the only way as a free to play or low spend to complete the event is you've got to save up. And we can't to Lawson's point, how long do you want to hold up your progression in the game, right? How long do you want to hoard things before you just say, look, I can't hoard anymore. I've got to start spending this stuff, or I'm just going to be stuck at whatever ops level I'm at. Problem
I
is this was the one event that you definitely was worth hoarding, was really worth, and it was worth holding up progression because officers are more important than anything else in this game. And this was your
I
best way to source one.
if I can quote, and this is going to be a little controversial because I'm going to say both names at the same time in the same sentence. If I can quote Rev Deuce and if I can quote Ultimate DJs, officers are forever, right? So any kind of progression you can get towards officer shards is more important than any kind of blueprints, any kind of currencies, any kind of mats, resources. You want officer shards. Like I right there, I'm with you, man. I 1,000% agree. So, hey,
Griffins and DJs were saying, hey, they're bringing it back. This will be my
mhm.
last point, but they said they're bringing it back. And by bringing it back, you're going to have, even if you can't complete the event, you're going to have two, three, four, five more shards than you would have had the day before they announced it because they had said they canceled it, right?
Well, I mean,
Well,
and that's a
what does
valid point.
what it is, but what does five shards do for me? It does
Nothing.
nothing if it's 100 to unlock. And the sourcing for officers, especially for new, are terrible unless you spend. So
Right.
it is impossible to unlock. I mean, it takes months and months to unlock these new officers unless you do well in CoTA. So I don't care about five shards or 10 shards. That does nothing for me because I know it's gonna be months down the road before I can unlock that officer. And that's just tier one. That's just tier
Well,
one. You can't even use these officers at tier one.
and
So
over a
that's it.
thousand to max Gray Sabers adds, and he's right.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Um,
So that's it.
let me counter with this, Austin. And again, I'm on your side here. I want to be clear about that before I say anything. But those extra shards, while there may not be many, I do think that we might not even be getting officer shards. Again, they could throw us a curveball and give us officer depot tokens, which would piss us off even more. I feel like, um, but in the
Do you
long,
think they've had enough time to change the event? Because everything's copy pasta, right? You think they've had enough time? I don't know what it takes to do that, but since seems like a shooting from the hip, we're going to bring it back in 1 week. I don't
I think
see
it's a
how much.
single line of code.
Okay,
It is a
all right,
single line of code to change the
okay,
rewards that someone gets out of this event.
okay, fair enough.
So, it wouldn't be really hard to say, okay, well, here we're going to do Zephram Cochran, right? Because that's the officer that's not been sourced this month. We're going to do Officer Depot tokens. We're going to do Ferengi event store currency. I mean, it could be a number of things. We don't know 1,000% what we're getting, and I have to kind of stress that because until we actually see it, exclamation point join guys, get in on dungeon. If we see it, then then we can make a more rational decision. I'm you're not wrong. 5 shards doesn't really do jack, but 5 10 times is 50. It's gonna. And I'm not saying that that's what they need to do, but there is another version of some kind of long form spend event coming. They have confirmed that in their first blog post when they said CoTA was gone. They're gonna redo it, change the name, and send it back out. That's what I see coming. So
Uh,
I I think that maybe for the first couple of months after this month, we won't see any kind of cool mechanic like that. But I do see that there is going to be a way to source the officers besides your run of the mill SLBs because that's just not enough.
it's really hard to go from a big event like CoTA and you don't know what's coming, and
Right.
you don't know if what's coming's worth saving for. But a lot
Hmm.
of these events that we get, and they have just the rewards are not worth the effort. And this is totally, I mean, this is James Bond's whole thing, right? He looks at events and just says, not worth it, not worth it, not doing it, not doing it, because the rewards suck so bad. And we all know that they are asking us to spend more and more time in game for less and
Hmm.
less rewards. Thankfully, we kind of, it seems like we hit that peak back during the flashpoints. That was the peak of, you know, we want you guys on 8 hours a day. And they've now scaled it back to where you don't really have to be on grinding all day anymore, which is great. But the rewards have been cut back so much. CoTA was that one thing that you really felt like, oh man, I'm doing something wrong. I'm getting away with something. This is
Right.
great. And at the end of it, at the end of the 5 or 6 days, however many it is, you felt like, man, this was awesome. I got a new officer. I may have even gotten him to tier 2. This is going to be great for my game. Name another
It,
event that does that.
I can't, Ostis, because it really is just that event is peak, and I have to use that word because I'm like you. I saved for Coda. Gray is asking in chat, what do you save? I save my GS31 parts because it's not maxed. I save my Dauntless parts. I save Reliance parts. Officer Depot tokens, Lorca skill points because he's not maxed. Like, I'm at the point in my game where I'm getting close to maxing all this stuff, but I can still score every single day. Luckily,
Yeah,
right
your
now, and
specialty
I'll
buildings you don't upgrade.
yeah, I mean that's still very true. I was waiting. I was waiting on those, so I'm going to be able to pull off that day as I'm showing here on the screen. But that's assuming again. We're assuming here, right, that the scoring mechanics are even going to be the same things. They might take out the Recon Locust this time, or they might take out the Transigen Forge. Who knows? Who knows? They things are always subject to change. And Shiz and RSDJ, I'll get you on the stage in just a minute. Let me finish my point here with Ostis. The idea, right? And this is my opinion. Okay, just being clear. The idea is, you're right. We weren't getting enough sales. So this is why Coda got axed. Is that 1,000% true? I have no idea. That is my opinion. I think that is 1,000% the reason why things are changing the way they are. I get from a business standpoint, right? I get that. Okay, they're people. They have mouths to feed, rent to pay. I have no issue with the company making their money. That's mucho importante. I do feel like that if players, exclamation point join, get in on the dungeon, guys. I do feel like if players feel slighted, they are not going to want to participate in things such as Coda 2.0 or whatever it is. You know, uh, what's that other one? Macallus Crucible, right? That's something we haven't seen in a while. We got two of those, maybe. Boldly Go events. That's also another good way to source stuff if they did it correctly. Like there are so many different ways they could go about doing this, and it behooves me as to why they would just, oh well, let's just cancel it instead of editing the mechanics. You know, of course, when they did edit the mechanic, we flipped out, did we not? As a community, did when they changed things and took out the DTI scoring, if memory serves, oh my God, people were so livid. People were so upset because that was less officer shards. We got no notice, but it's what they did, right? Ship day, well, I can recycle my Revenant 1,000%, 1,000 times and get it done, but it's going to take me a while, but I can do it. You know, and there's Ostis. I don't disagree with you, man. Like dead on. You what you're saying is exactly what's not getting said correctly on the bigger channels, right? And you know, I did say a couple of times, maybe not on Nigel's. I meant to. but I know I said it in DJ's chat last night. I was talking about how it needs to be next month and not this month. So I, if I didn't get to say that yesterday, that has been my sentiment the whole time. Giving us 5 days notice isn't enough time to save shit. It's just not. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but
and there's not a whole lot of events that players that seem to be on beneficial to the players where they feel like they got something out of it instead of just logging in and going through the motions, right? Just doing your, it's a habit for us all now. We get on, we do our stuff, we get rewards or we don't. Half the time, I don't even know what rewards I'm getting because I have those animations turned off. So I don't even know what the hell I'm getting half the time because they're not worth they're just not really anything notable. So
right,
when things I feel like we've just gotten one more thing taken away and I feel like we're being punished, which is weird, right? It's a game. It's supposed to be fun.
right.
Fortunately,
I,
fortunately
I,
for us, the community's still strong, but man, there's a
I,
reason why
I,
people are pissed.
I agree with you on that standpoint too, man. It does feel like it's a punishment, and I don't think it's meant to. Like it's a business decision, right? I understand
Yes.
that, and I know that folks get that part of it. The Going back to Hammy and being an asshole to Hammy, that solves nothing for nobody. It's just going to make him not want to fight for something in the future. You know what I mean? So, I I'm never gonna thank you for R2D2. I appreciate that. I'm never gonna get behind anybody like being rude to any CMs or being hateful with like the content creators that are in DA'd. You guys can get hateful with me all you want. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'll just give it back. But at the same time, I really don't think that this was really thought about. It was just, oh shit, they reacted badly. We need to fix it, and then they threw it back out thinking, okay, well, that'll make them happy, right? Ooh. What do you mean they spent all their shit? You know what I mean? So, like, I somebody somewhere dropped the ball. It's that simple. Next month would have been better. Thank you for the dungeon, Austin. Appreciate that. Exclamation point join, guys. Get in on the dungeon. If you don't mind, I am going to go ahead and invite RSDJ and Chiz to come up as well. There is. This is a hot topic for debate, and everybody's got their opinion on it. But I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to explain where I stood, and that you had a chance to explain where you stood. Hey, Shiz, welcome in, buddy. Where are you at on
Hey,
this whole? Where are you at on this whole CoTA
yeah,
thing?
I'm interested in Shiz's point of view as well.
So I'm definitely there's a whole lot of conflicted feelings, even just that I have about the whole thing, and I think you guys hit on a number of points already. And I mean, to the one thing, and I think this was one thing I'd put in chat when DJs was talking about it last night is there's process issues. Like it's not even just the decisions. Like some of this just seems to always go back to some of the processes that drive what's happening, and that's part of the breakdown. Like it's one thing when because like they'll put out and just like they'll say, hey, this event is coming, but it'll just be like the event name, so like if you remember it, you can use that as an attempt to prepare or whatnot. And I mean, one of the things that you mentioned is like, especially if like this was a lot of that behind the scenes making stuff happen, and like Hammy goes hard for the community. Like he puts in a lot of effort. Like him, Simpali, they're really trying to do what they can. Like and it really bites that this sounds like this was kind of a gut punch to them. But I think the reaction was sort of to some of what happened with the process, because I don't think I don't think people are like, we want to hurt Hammy, we need to protect Hammy, we'll count the blinks, make sure he's okay in the videos. um, but um, but when the blog post comes out and says, hey, we're not doing it this month, I think all of us sort of took that as a okay, well, it's not going to be this month. So then it coming back without any warning for a week, I think it's a surprise is where most of us feel that way, especially in the situation where, because a lot of it was, CoTA CoTA had like because as someone had pointed out when I was like, okay, it was good at the beginning. Was there's a point of there wasn't a warm reception at first, and I mean at least for me when it first came out, it was like, okay, this is a change that we're sourcing it. It gives some flexibility, and like as we saw it start to repeat, because the first time around it was it was an experiment. Maybe it would be something different, and then as it started repeating, it's like, okay, this gives some flexibility. It's not just about mat spend. It's about, are you engaging with the content? Can you progress? Now, as several
Right.
people, pointed out even early on, it meant, hey, pause your progression till one point in the month and then push it hard. And I feel like hopefully Butter Pecan isn't here because I'm just saying everything clippable right now.
He might
Um,
be. It's untelling. I don't know. Um,
yeah,
Shiz, you're not wrong, man. I'm one of those people who would save from coda to coda. So I would
right?
hold my progression up, even though, yeah, and you guys know I've got this thing with RSDJ, right? Even though I was holding myself back, the progression was going to be the same normally in the long run. So I didn't
Mhm.
see a problem with saving my reliant parts, unless I was going to hit a new tier or something. With saving my with my Officer Depot tokens, right? Um, my
Well,
artifacts. There's just so many
I'd even off,
things.
I'd even offer that we could call it strategic pauses.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and I mean, because there would be times like I remember I think it was the last coda that we had. I think I was just like one day short of being able to take another tier to my dauntless with where that day was. So I did everything that I could during coda. The day after, I then took that tier to get that faster refinery to get that additional progress. But then it became that question of, where's your tipping point of is it worth it to hold for a little bit and get that extra, or progress it and go to a faster rate.
Let me
Um, but
let me
where,
catch up on the chat
yeah,
right quick, Shiz. Grace
okay.
Aber says this is all happening when they claim they want to build trust and engage players more and make players better. These decisions make all of that rhetoric seem hollow and disingenuous. Curly Bracket Effect says camping. Camping is a strong word. Strategic pauses. I think Shiz hit that right on the head. Let's see. I think that's everything new. Green Tea says it's Star
Well,
Trek Fleet Command. Why do so many people play like it's Star Trek Officer Command? And to answer that, because it really is Star Trek Officer Command. So that's a thing. Bacon
and I
Fish
think
and
also,
Mad. Go ahead.
oh, I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
say Bacon Fish, auspices, and several folks had just chimed in similar about the, let's not abuse the CMs. They're trying to
Yeah.
do what they can to be
Yep.
that liaison between the community and the game, and like towards Gray Saber's point, as you had brought up, like that I think is the bigger issue is player sentiment has been in a bad place for a long time. Like I'd go at least as far back as Transigen, maybe even a
Mm-hmm.
little. Like I can't say if it was better before then, but that's at least where think like and correct me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Did that seem a reasonable point or issue?
No,
That
no,
was
that's
the
that.
that was the tipping point. That was the flashpoints transigent thing. That was where it was wheels off and everybody was being, I mean, really, for people like me that have always complete everything, full
Mm-hmm.
completion, don't skip any events. That was, I mean, I couldn't believe I was on the game for 8 hours a day. It was insane how much time I was spending, just because I want those rewards, reinforcing why Coda is so important. They
Mm-hmm.
cancel Coda. Name 10 events that you would rather see go than Coda. There is so many stupid events that we've been playing since day one. I started playing this game maybe 4 or 5 months months after it launched, and those
Mm-hmm.
events are still here that give terrible rewards. Why are those still um, even
Well,
on the calendar, or why are they even? Why am I able to see those at Op69? It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's a good.
One thing that I'll
It's a good
even
question.
throw out there, and I'm so I'm gonna reference a game that I haven't played, but I feel like was big in the press for a while. Are y'all
Okay.
familiar with and then I blank on the name of it for a second. The one that's like the parody of Starship Troopers, Helldivers 2. Sorry, it took
Yes,
me a second.
yes, very familiar.
So yeah, so part of the thing with that is I there are certain aspects of that, or even just um the style, the narrative style that it seems to have, where the relationship between the player base and the developer seems a lot more positive, whereas like I almost feel like between Scopely and the player base there's a very adversarial relationship, whereas like at from some of um dungeon everybody.
Yep, yep. Exclamation point join. Sorry, I forget I've got that pipe through to Discord now. Shiz, my bad.
It's all good. I I don't know how loud it is for everybody, but it might be worth
Just
tweaking just a tad.
I actually can't control the volume on that. You just turn me down. Turn
Oh,
me
okay.
down.
Okay. I didn't realize that was but yeah, so I think where I was saying is like what do you guys think? Is that a fair assessment to say that like Scopely and the player base, we seem locked in this adversarial perspective, and not necessarily for any specific reason, but that's just kind of how it seems to go?
Well, and
Yeah,
yes, I could see that, but as to your point, should the community not should Scopely not be wanting the community to be happy and be excited about the events that are coming? CoTA is one of those events that we were excited for genuinely, and here we are. Oh well, that's been yanked. It's done. Here's one
Well,
more bot. like,
yeah, but I think part of where I'm going with that, because like at least from the outside, the way that I take some of what I've heard about like Helldivers and how it was talked about, like there's some difference in the briefings between like what we get for arc briefings and sort of what they have for, I'm not sure how you refer to their arcs, maybe campaigns or whatnot, and how it's almost like have a game master, they're setting all this up, here's the objectives we want y'all to go after and get after, here's the intel briefing, go do this, and it's sort of like we're in this together kind of like sentiment or morale. I'm not sure I'd really describe it. Did that make sense of a comparison?
well,
it
And that,
does.
Shiz, to answer your
Go,
question, it feels like it's the employer versus the employee, right? And most people don't like their bosses. I'll wait for that.
Yeah, sorry. Pumpkinhead just
Let's
rated
keep
in.
it up.
Pumpkinhead, how you doing, man? Yeah, again, guys, I have no control over that. Let me see if I
No,
can.
that's fine.
I'm
No,
worried.
no
I'm
biggie.
worried about
okay.
crashing my OBS, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of why
But-
I'm a little
So
nervous about changing it.
it it
yeah.
feels like they're our boss and we're the employee, and we have this adversarial relationship. We have to work for them or play the game, and they sling shit down on us, and then we just choose to either do it or not. The problem is they know where we stand as a player base, right? They send out polls that we fill
Sure.
out, surveys. They listen into the content creators. They have Discord. They have all these ability for us to communicate with them. They know where we stand. What we don't know is how do they feel about the player base? We make all the assumptions. They hate us, or they only care about the whales. They don't care about the mid ops or lower ops, whatever. But if we at least knew where they stood, where they just said, look, this is what we want. We want you guys to spend this much, or we want this much engagement. At least there would be some sort of a balance where we could say, all right, you know what? They don't give a shit about me as a player, as a free to player light spender. They only care about this group or that group. At least you can maybe say, all right, you know what? They don't care about me. I'm going to choose to not play as much or go play something else. I feel like I don't know what they behind closed doors think about us. And so it's hard to say, because you want to take their side, you want to be on their side, or go, yeah, maybe this was a mistake. Lawston said on DJ's show that he doesn't think they have their shit together enough to have a conspiracy and screw us all. And he's probably right, but what are they saying about us? That's kind of where I'm curious. I want to be that fly on the wall. And you know what? They are they doing things to say, hey, what can we do to make the players happy, or what kinds of events would the players like? Instead of
That's a
just
that's a fair
Billy
point,
from
man.
accounting, how can we make the most money with this event? Which events can make us the most profit? I don't know. I'm it's just something that I'm curious about. At least if there was that clarity there, maybe we wouldn't get so upset, or maybe we'd move on.
Well,
Be
and
honest,
I think you
I'm sure that there's a little bit of column A and column B there. Sorry, Shiz, I'm not trying to interrupt. Just let everybody. I'm letting you guys know I stepped off screen for a second to change a diaper. So please continue.
Yeah, no, and I think I'm sorry because I had to return a call really quick, but I think I got most of Ostis's point, and I think there's a lot in there sort of to unpackage, and I know as you mentioned that they have the data, but sometimes I think some of the data in aggregate is a little bit more difficult to interpret than some of the boots, for lack of a better term, like boots on the ground, like talking, like some of the perspectives that they get. And as you pointed out, like they have, the folks that they're talking to, the stream that they visit, but it's sort of teasing some of that out. And I'd even argue like hey, we get data from engagement with events, but some events, whether players intend to or not, they're going to end up engaging with. So it can be, I don't know, conflicting to say what the data really says, if that makes sense,
It does.
Office.
It does
And
make sense.
hopefully that's responding to on topic.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
yeah, and I think the hard part is just finding where, because I think many of the folks have said it, is this, there's currently a lot of feeling that frustrated players will spend versus how do we get to a place where it's, hey, players are happy and they're spending because of it. And to go to a couple messages in chat, because I think that, because I'm sure there's been a few that on what we're saying, like Gray Saber is Scopely needs to change the mindset and celebrate the events they want to retire, and that could have set up a last run of CoTA. I mean, like think about like if it was set up as a, hey, let's run it one last time, and this time we run it like it's a CoTA going out of business sale or whatnot, where something to like a last chance to hype it up. As Destra says, Destra is saying, hey, they care about mid ops. They created the second live ops team to support. And I mean, from a lot of what I've heard, there's some great things going on with the mid ops. I've heard some folks not always a huge fan of it, some that are into it. And then also, Gray Saber is that continued secrecy breeding mistrust. Because I think it was either Gray Saber or someone else that had commented that it wasn't just Flashpoint, that the actual turning point was Walk. And
Sure.
I think that's a great point, because at least from my perspective, there were so many great things that came with Wrath of Khan, and I think we can like hopefully that's the sentiment we can all feel. But I remember
let me step in right
Go
here,
ahead.
Shiz. Walk, absolutely was the very last high point where we had players that were excited to engage. Once we hit Flashpoint and things started going, woo, it just to your point, yes, that was our last high. Yes.
You know what
Uh,
I've seen on my server with the Wrath of Khan arc? I'm
Please
on
share.
server 34. I'm on server
Mhm.
34, and I'm bouncing from alliance to alliance. I'm spending about a week, and then moving on. I'm trying to find kind of the right alliance for me. So, I'm leaving these alliances. They're all on good terms. It's just, hey, I'm visiting, whatever. But as I move from alliance to alliance to alliance, I've noticed that so many players don't even have the Reliant, didn't engage in that arc at all because they didn't get the ship and they saw how grindy it was. I'm not sure that that event is as popular as people that did engage in it
mhm.
think that it was. I think it's really a love hate, and either you did
Oh,
it or you didn't do it. There's no kind of halfway, but I am shocked at how many people don't have Joaquin, don't have Khan, and they're just like, why would I want that? That arc sucked. I didn't engage in it at all. And that is crazy.
I
I
agree.
will
Crazy to
take
me.
I will take it a step further because I remember after the ship coming out, and then everybody's like, "This is the greatest thing ever." And while I still didn't, during the time I still didn't have the Reliant, it was like, I hate the grind for the common splicers. I have to go in, I have to go free the D7, and just that having that auto grinder that would kill you so like if you didn't catch it, that it would just get you and hit you so hard. It just added to the little perception and feeling of grind. And at the same time, because one of the things I've been I know I've mentioned after the Reliant came out, like my server was protective of Reliance, and I mean it's nice because now that I have it, I can just leave it out. But recently,
Sure.
one of the things I've started doing, and I've even me and at least one other person, like we've several times like tried to offer up and be like, I have no need for my splicers. Why don't I fill this up? Do you have anybody that could use them? Because like I'm getting like millions and millions, and it's like I got more than I need for like I'm
Right.
just so stoked about it. I'm like, let me get this to someone that needs it, which
That's fair.
I think
That's fair.
folks have even pointed out was probably a design consideration of how that loop is supposed to be. And it just reached the point. And the funniest part is when it's hard to find somebody to be like, oh yeah, I could use some slicers. And it's like, I will give you like a million of the epic, and that's and all of the rest. Like, just tell me where to drop it off, and then people are
Same.
like, oh yeah, like
Same.
Yeah.
Well, we
Shout
had
out to
exactly
Corey.
the same thing with the Voyager loop, and we had exactly the same thing with the Eclipse loop, where basically you didn't need it, so you'd fill up your cargo, take your hull to almost nothing, say, who needs all of this because it will help you progress so much? I've got no need for it anymore. Please take it, and look how far you can progress just by killing my one hostile with a full cargo and go.
Let me step in right here because RSDJ, first off, welcome to the stage, buddy. Good to see you. Destros in chat, exclamation point, join guys, get in on that dungeon. That should be lower. I tried to do that. Destros says, here's a little bit of behind the scenes for you. There has always been CM support for lower ops. Heavy spenders, the mid ops team was created years after that. So it, to me, shows that they care about the mid-ops, spend or not spend. I have to agree, Destros. I think the mid-ops has gotten 1,000% better since that team was created. Let me be clear on that. Jim Pye says it's because the apathy has been huge for the last year. There was a lot of backlash for Walk, that it was too hard and too grindy. On the other hand of that, Green Tea, there's also huge rewards. You can max a whole fleet commander in a few days. Mufasa, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. And see with his free Tangia redeems. I'm seeing that, buddy. Let me just make sure. Ostis. Yeah, you responded to Destros. Okay. That sounds like cheating, Green Tea says. I wouldn't call it cheating. I would say that there's how do I word this? There is a
strategic assistance or player assist.
Yeah, sure. Corey, this is what I was going to say. Corey Rains, he's here in chat. He actually, before I was ready, like I was still doing the uncommons, this has been months ago, on the splicers since we're talking about it, he would load his cube up, right? And I don't know if he had a Reliant at the time. He does now. He would load up his tier 14, 15 cube, whatever it was, get it about dead, drop it off at my base so I could do my pulls. Like I didn't ask him to do that but once, and he'd done that. Corey, if you're still here, how many times did you do that for me? Like 5, 6 times? 6 or 7? Well,
and I'd even offer with that loop, with that arc, there's multiple loops that are going on, and the splicers are only a small part of it. Those splicers help you start on getting the credits that let you do things like work on the favors that make that arc a little bit more achievable. And you can't really progress without getting the rep, but you only get some of that from the exchange. A lot of that is hitting the hostiles. And you can't do anything with the champions trophies until you're hitting the hostiles. The splicers are just one way to help ease players into it a little bit. And in a weird sort of way, if that arc had the flexibility that we saw with the Excelsior, maybe folks from earlier on would have been like, oh, like if that being in the part 1 versus the part 2. But I mean, who knows? Just as sort of an example of like some of the experiments that they've started doing probably help give some more flexibility. And I know we're probably trying to get RSDJs involved, so
We are.
give them.
But let me just finish up here. Matt Hatter says never complain about being able to steal OPC. Hillbilly says at Ops 42, I'm still 14 million away from Superior in Augment. Been a huge grind. I hit the level 40 system mostly every day. And at 42, that's where you should be, Hillbilly. That's about right. Max says, personally, the grind nowadays is low. Even Walk was low grind compared to the grind we had before Freebooters. Yeah, Freebooters cut out a lot. So, and RSDJ, let's get your stance on this since, we've kind of went around and we've thought about it. The first question we have is CoTA. Where do you stand, man? Are you happy it's coming back? Are you pissed off about it? What are your thoughts?
Right, well, I struggled with CoTA quite a lot, like being able to hit the very last part to it. And as soon as far as I was aware, and almost everybody I know, it's like it's out, it's gone, it's never coming back. So we thought, for those of that had saved, we thought, fantastic, we're just going to blow everything we've got. Like max what we can out, level up a little bit, and then suddenly, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to bring it back. That was a bit of a gut punch. It's like, if you'd given us warning of, okay, we're doing this, we're going to do one more and then it's done, that would have been fine. But the fact they pulled it, waited for everybody to spend everything they had, and then said, oh, we're doing one more, please buy packs.
Right.
Well, and I think
Curly Bracket, let me just read this one thing, Shiz, and then you can go. Curly Bracket says, I'm working on it. I told him to Max Joaquim. He said, I don't have the best crew for the champions. I win about 1 in 3 with a Hull Breach crew. Well, and that's part of the struggle, man. To just keep working on your crew and your shards and all that, and you will eventually be able to do every single time. Sorry, Shiz. Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, like, in regards to that feeling on CoTA, I'll go back to like, is it that we're taking issue with CoTA, or is it sort of the process? Because I feel like the biggest thing that folks are really hitting to is that blog post stating, hey, not this month, and then it's a turnaround, and
Yeah.
I think one thing that a lot of folks have mentioned is if that announcement had been, hey, we heard you, we'll bring it back next month, versus, hey, we'll bring it back next week, maybe that might have changed it. But I think even just part of it is just that feeling that it's one surprise after the other. And I guess, like, I haven't found the right comparison, but I feel like it's almost sort of like getting the ice cream cone knocked out of your hand and then being like, well, would you like another ice cream cone? Like, it makes up for it, but it still kind of feels kind of off, if that makes sense.
Right.
Well, how many of us, when they announced the cancellation of CoTA, were like, "Are you? Are they for real? Are they really canceling it? Should I Should I hold on to my stuff? I don't believe them." That was my reaction. Was like, I don't. This. There's no way that they're going to bring it back. Something's going to happen, or an event's going to replace it that's going to be similar. So I'm going to continue to hoard. And then it just got reinforced that it was gonna. No, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. But I just
Right.
when they announce something and you just don't ever know whether to believe it or not, that's a
The
problem.
way I saw it was, it's like a shop saying we're having a going out of sale, like going out of business sale. Everything's reduced. Spend everything you've got right now, and then a few days later, after you've spent all of your money, saying, "Oh, actually, no, we're going to stay open for one more month."
Yeah, there's a little
Oh
bit of
yeah.
that. There's, I mean, because one thing that for me, and this may have been just a perspective where I was at, but I was the rate of how much they were adding, not even in the store section of the Ferengi store section of things, because that's a whole separate thing, but of things we could score on was not moving as fast as, like, because especially that one time they called out a whole lot of scoring things. Like, I can't use artifacts to score because those are done. I've run out of crest things I can spend crests on, other than like the away team store for like some of the crestful things in there. And if I have an author array for promotions, um, I'm done with FC Con, and I mean like done, because that as mentioned is one of the fastest FCs to promote. I'm limited on number of specialty ships that I can spend anything of the specialty currency. So there's that as well. And I mean, to go to a point from chat, like Destra is bringing up, like one of the things that was missing was an acknowledgement that this was due to feedback, that they were saying, hey, we're bringing this back because you guys asked.
You're not wrong, Shiz. Sorry, I'm also doing baby stuff. I apologize. Yeah, Simba. I also have the Saris Invasion store. There's quite a lot here, and I have to. Sorry, she's being a little fussy. I have
Quit
to
pinching
stress
her.
this. Yeah, well, I'm not doing it on purpose, buddy. Um, you make very good points. You all do. I do think that there is a line here, and I say this a lot, right? Because CoTA was something we all really enjoyed. A lot of players on streams are longer term players. I have heard lots of complaints from lower ops players in my alliance that they were saving for CoTA. They announced it was ending. They put up different events, so they spent all their stuff, and now they announce, "Hey, surprise! Here's CoTA again." Pyramir, thank you for that. That is exactly kind of what we're talking about, man. Just really,
Yeah.
Give me just 1 sec.
Sure. And I mean, because I think the hope with this was supposed to be a win, and I don't know if everyone feels that way, but I think that was what they were hoping for, was, hey, we're gonna bring it back. Players wanted it, but I think that the how is where it sort of stumbles. Does that seem like a fair statement?
Well, was Ultimate DJs the only person that thought when it got announced that, oh, hey, all right, this is going to be great. Everybody's going to be happy? Because that's not what my reaction was. My reaction was like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
I'm
Well,
not gonna lie, I swore a lot at my laptop.
Oh, I
I
almost threw my phone. And I
I
don't get mad at this game ever. I never get mad. This was a first. Kind of
yeah,
embarrassing how mad I was.
I mean, I think part of it is this is it's a very big difference in perspectives, because I think probably the view was, hey, there's a player loved event, we're bringing it back, people will be happy. And so I can understand that as being one perspective, but then from all of our perspectives is, y'all are surprising me on this thing where I needed time to know in advance and be able to like plan for it. And I think that disconnect is where something happened. And I know, like, I feel like a lot of the that pro side is very like, well, maybe you won't get as far, but you'll get further than you were before. And I'm like, well, there probably would have been some other author spend that weekend, and like, usually when we run these, there's a certain level of progress, at least on that SMS, that we can make. And now it's like, maybe that SMS we might barely touch. Does that seem about fair? Or?
Well, yeah, Shiz, and I said that early on was when I first got on was that if they had just said we're bringing it back in a month,
Yeah.
not in between this next arc, but the fall, we're going to bring it back between the next arc. So that would give us all time to at least accrue enough to probably get to finish or almost finish. That would have been, in my opinion, something that I would be like, okay, fair enough. You guys, you listen to
Well,
us, which is what we're happy about. And I don't feel like I'm being screwed now. Like I've got enough time to start saving up again.
if I may, guys, let me read some of the chat here to you. Jim Pie says, I think most regular players feel the same way about this. The optics on the timing is really the big issue. Selling it for next month as a thank you and we hear you would have gone over so much better. Jim Pie, chef's kiss, my dude. That is exactly the sentiment. Pyramir says, yes, that's DJ's lately, though. First CC that said Jim Pie. Wally says, no, give us 200, but now we want 1,000. Gray Saber says, why doesn't Scopely know their player base? It's been 7 years. And to be fair, Gray Sabers, I can answer that a little bit. The player base is ever changing. The the higher end players are the same, right? But they've had so many people leave and so many new people start that it kind of, you know, not to be wishy-washy, but it upsets the balance, if you will. Doug says, I was happy I never really saved for CoTA anyways, so I do what I can. I took it as they listened to feedback and gave us another event. And that's not wrong, Doug. Like, they did listen and they did give it back. But I think the sentiment here, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I've got one more chat to read after this, maybe two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not mad that they listened to us. People are upset because it's such short notice, right or wrong.
Kind of.
Yeah, you're half right. Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, one more chat, and then I'll give the floor back to you. Green Tea says, if there was sourcing that would pay the officer in a manner that favors the people who have already spent and are at the top levels, would that make the retirement of CoTA mostly mute? Honestly, no, I don't think it would. And there are a few more chats coming in, but it's more the same. A week in advance, short notice.
Yeah.
More mad that it was sprung up with no warning. So go ahead.
This is going to be a really bad comparison. So try to give me some room on that. But it's sort of like two people in an argument, and like one person, sort of saying that like, I want you to want to go out to this place to dinner, and the other person being like, fine, let's go out to that place, and it just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's this sort of like all these compromising of like, we're giving you what you want, but it's like, I want you to feel like you want to do that. Does that seem a fair assessment of a way to put it? Like it's just really hard to get at the process issue that's underlying it versus what's generating some of the feelings, I think.
There are times where I feel like we're in an abusive relationship, right? Where we're being manipulated. And to be fair, I mean, that's most game designers, they are manipulating us, right? I mean, that's what the whole point of the pip is. Pips drive
Sure.
people crazy, and so they feel like they got to click it, and then fleet command turns into click command, and then they've got you, right? You just click, 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 click. The constant feeling of manipulation is rough, especially when you get done with all your clicks and all your events for the day, and you go, I'm what did I do all that for? Am I any better off than I was? And especially me, I'm at 69 and I had no idea how brutal it was going to be to go from 69 to 70. I don't know how people can jump ops from say 66 to 70. I hit
Oh, sure.
69
it's
and
a
I got
lot.
kicked in the nuts over and over and over again.
On mat cost or the hostels or what?
No, the mat cost, just the amount of rare and the amount of buildings. I just finally logged into STFC Pro or whatever to look at kind of where I'm at for 69.
Mhm.
And I, because I'm struggling with the Vidra Orions, I get one per hull using my cube. I can't punch up. I can't hit the
Same.
70s, but I hit the 69s. One per hole. That's it. All the other ones are easy. So I just thought, well, where am I in comparison? I'm getting closer to 70 now. I mean, I could go to 70 any day now, but
Sure.
I'm number one on my server, and I think I'm number 10. I'm number 10 or 11th ranked 69 in the game, and I can
Well,
I
Right
can hit
on.
one per hole. One.
Can I dig in just a little bit there for a second, if that's okay with you guys?
Absolutely. Please do.
So I appreciate the fact that you're using the cube. It does have a better firing pattern. You've got more seats. What is the approach on crewing that you've been taking towards the Orions, and like or even just the overall approach on hitting them?
So Blues put out his recommended, right? I tried all that, didn't work. None of those worked. They were awful. So I just started using my own, but I wanted to do a crit build, just try
Mhm.
to hit them hard and hit them fast, and that has worked the best for me. So I went, I was when that is what's fun for me, the challenge of trying to come up with a new crew. I was having the most fun in a long time when the Orions came out. I didn't mind.
Sure.
My whole alliance was losing their minds. They were ready to quit. Everybody was pissed. I was eating it up. I was like, yeah, you guys get all mad all you want, but I'm going to figure this crap out.
And I
Right.
And
will say, like the
I changed
when you go ahead, sorry.
I changed my ships, I changed my tech, I changed my fleet commanders. I and just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. It took me, I think, to complete the first day. The first time they came out, I think it was 60 or 70 hulls to do it. And
Oof.
Yeah.
then now it's actually about 8 hulls because I have about a third of my hull left on the cube after a kill. So, every once in a while I can get 2 kills per hull if I go back and hit one that I've already damaged.
Sure.
And I'm okay with that, but it's interesting to think how well developed my account is. It's a lot better than I thought. And I'm still, I mean, one per hull. No, none of my other ships can even really touch those Orions. It's interesting. And I've
I
got a
mean,
tier
Since you
13 Velox.
since you're talking about the Orions, I actually put up on the screen the crew that I'm using right now, which is the standard cheese crew. It's Leslie, of course. Um, but you know, this is my sentiment as well, Ostis. I can punch the 68s with my cube, right? But that's because I hit my T9
Good for
Velox,
you.
and
Good for you.
and yeah, it 5 holes is better than 10. I'll say that. But if it really was going to be a problem, it's easy for me to move Naga over and take out Scotty off the bottom. That's not really that big of a deal for me. The problem's going to be is when I go to 69 where you're at today, I'm still going to struggle, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't kill those yet. I've tried with this
well,
crew.
and
It's not ready.
yeah, I mean, from what I've found, and granted, I'm approaching because there is definitely a few pain points, and like the 68 to 70 or so range is one of them. Um, like for me, the 68's not too bad. The 69's, I can, I forget if it's like 2 or 3 on a hull, but similar to what Ostis was saying, like one of the things that I found was talking with people, whether it's upper G6 or folks that are 70, as much as the initial thought was, hey, what if we unseat all the fleet commanders, we sting ourselves, we pat our heads, rub our bellies, and try to do this at the same time? Like
I'm
it
not
sort of
doing
works.
that.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's like, guys, I get that this is the backup option, but the amount of effort for like maybe a couple. And when I've talked to players, what I've usually tried driving towards is both, as you're saying, is a crit build, but crit and ISO, and just punching the teeth in as hard as you can. And as long as there's the damage, the crit, and the ISO research behind it, it starts slowly adding up. Because one of the things that I've also found is because we get so used to thinking about Seska on the bridge, the Orions are one of the places where I've been advocating Seska is wonderful on a good firing pattern below decks. And if you haven't tried her yet, she's one of the folks that I'd recommend. Like, it's like the other thing that like that looking at that, like the amount of having to get into the details, like is using EPA card or E-data better on the bridge to get a better ISO build based on which ship you're using, and like some of the like having to get into the minutia that the Orions can cause, like it's both kind of fun because it gives a little bit of thought, but it's also like, oh, the level of effort here.
No,
Oh
that's a
yeah, I
valid
hear
point,
you,
man.
but I'm shocked that you can hit more than one per hole on the 69s because I can't imagine.
Well,
Are you
and
using
to
your Reliant
defend,
to do that?
you mean his
Relativity.
Or
relativity?
I mean your relativity?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my relativity is max and it sucks.
Well,
Part of
then
the one thing that you gain with the relativity over the cube is one additional seat. But it's funny because I think when I went to 66, I did some testing around with it with a few of the ships. And like even with some of the similar firing patterns, so the firing pattern between like the cube, the relativity, and the GS is not that far apart. The GS is probably tends to take the lead on, in my case, it's ops locked out, so it's a little lower on the DPR than the cube. The cube, in theory, should do better, but I don't know if it's just because of the extra HP hit points, or probably maybe even mitigation on the relativity. But for me, that's been a little bit better. But I think some of that is having everything for DPR pretty hammered home. Like on the hazard research for weapon damage, do you have that ops locked or not?
Hazard. Let me.
In the
I'll look here.
yeah, because this
Where am
is
I
getting
looking?
in the
I
combat
can put it
tree,
on the
right?
screen.
Thank
I can
you.
put it on the screen. It's
The combat.
yeah, he's right. Combat tree toward the end. It's G6
Well,
research, hazard
yeah,
particle
just
research,
past
right?
just past the G5 research. Because there's a few things that I'd point to, and that's probably one of the first. Is like
Yeah,
our
everything's
folks.
ops locked.
Okay, and then on artifacts, like all of the artifacts for damage, if those are
All
maxed
maxed.
out,
Yep.
what tier is your protector?
It is maxed, I believe.
Okay, so then you also probably have the damage research that's locked behind the protector maxed out.
Oh
Um,
no, actually, I am tier 14 out of 15. I thought I was maxed.
Well,
Okay,
you're
but
close.
But I'm saving for
Yeah.
CoTA. I'm saving for CoTA, so clearly.
Yeah.
Well,
But if you in the mirror tree, there's damage research that's locked behind, I want to say tier 13. So you're past that, and you can
Yeah,
grab
there's
that.
yep.
thank you,
Yeah,
Dark
I'm
Tree.
all that research is done.
Sorry, guys.
And some of the oh, it's all good. I know we've kind of have been neglecting chat for a little bit, so should probably also get back to them. But some of this also probably would be great conversation to have on an Orion day, to be able to go through, try to see what we can suss out, and because it could even be something like a difference in the tier on your Section 31 Giorgio, any of the authors, the below deck, what path you went with Star Path, and just trying to figure out like where the adjustments can be made and what tweaks might happen. Because
That'd be
especially
fantastic.
yeah,
Let me
because
ask this
especially if
question.
you're at one.
Let me step in here, Shiz, because you're making good points, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but you're 1,000% right. We do need to get a little bit back to the chat. If you guys wouldn't care, can I get those of you that are listening and not just lurking to throw your ops levels in the chat for me? As I read this list, Mufasa says he's more mad that it was just sprung up with no warning. Scopely didn't give us a courtesy tap, says Bacon. Oh, the frustration is deliberate, says Wally. Gray Saber says making decisions like CoTA when the player sentiment was already at a low isn't smart for business. Agreed. Wally says the clicks are unengaging. Bacon, try your relativity instead of your cube, which is exactly what Shiz was just saying. Pyramir says the game is stability is shocking at the moment. They need to be giving the player base some love right now, and they're not. Let's see. I have slowed down my gameplay, says Mechrak, with how the game has been the past year. As a disengaged 67, the CoTA felt like, yeah, that's a Scopely. And you know, that I get that logic. Grace Evers says, Cheese Crew, one level up, only 5 holes ain't too bad. Sounds familiar. Gray asks Bacon, why would people be upset? Destro says, I would caution against using total power as a metric of strength. I'm 23rd in total power of my server. There are 2 to 4 people on my server with more account strength than me. That 2 of those are maxed vengeance owners. Wasn't the cost, couldn't get anywhere, so lost interest. Pyramir says, lots of us can do it. Lots struggle, but let's not overdo it by saying no one. Agreed. This is, and I want to find this here. Okay, there's the ops levels. Pyramir says that's part of a strategy game. We have presets for a reason. I agree with that. I hate doing my crews, as Shiz and I have talked about on numerous occasions. A lot of people enjoy that. Ostis, you yourself said you enjoy experimenting with your officers and seeing what works and what doesn't. I'm not
Absolutely.
that guy. I have so many things that I'm trying to do. I throw a preset on and I go. I like it. That's just my hat style gameplay, to steal a Jason V-neck quote, if you will. But the point I'm trying to make is, and this is why I asked for ops levels, right? And you guys can see in the chat there that most everybody, besides 2 or 3 people, is G6 and above. Most everybody. Those that aren't, I would be curious to see if anything that you guys are going to get for a CoTA event, because I don't think there's anything coming for that. At least it wasn't announced if there was. The Devastator, thank you for the first time chat. I appreciate that. There's so many people here that most of the Twitch community, and I'm going to stress this right now, most of the Twitch community is your upper end G5, lower end G6, or G7s. Just like the point where, and this is something Austin said at the beginning of the stream, the point where there aren't very many 67s. There aren't very many 69s. Most people blow past these ops levels that I'm hanging at, that he's hanging at, that Viper's at, because it's such a point in the game where things are so, like, I don't want to use the word screwed up, but I'm going to, screwed up, that it's kind of hard. Like hitting the 69 Orions, that's a huge pain. That's not easy. I get that logic. And I'm trying to articulate this as best as I can, right? I don't want to blow through these op levels, even though I'm trying to beat you, RSDJ. But at the same time, I do want to get 270 as fast as I can, right? Because I'm looking forward to Vale chat. There are so many people from Vale that I just want to hang out with and bullshit with. Just period. And then what? What's my goal once I hit 70? Anybody?
71.
Okay,
archive your account.
No. I will not be archiving my account, sir. You know I love you, but not happening. But RCJ's right. 71. Like I vengeance. Thank you, Madrox. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm referring to. Like, there's always something to strive for as we progress, right? So this is a bump in the road in comparison to the overall scheme of things. Okay. CoTA is one. No, I'm not going to camp green tea. Once I hit 70, I'm going 71 as quickly as possible, just for the increase in G6 mats, because there's no sense in it. Although I'm being told I need a tier 12 epic minimum. So, maybe that'll be my first thing.
I mean, it really depends. Like, I feel like when G7 came out, like people, even folks with a well-developed G6 Epic and or Cube, we're finding those hospitals hard. And when I hit 66, once I was able to get my Cube to tier 15, the G6 rare level, I'd already done it with my relativity. I was curious to try it with that, and like, even to go back to the point on the Orion, like, I don't think my advice was just, hey, the relativity will do it. I would just say, like, your G6 ship might not be the way to go. Like, whether it's a cube or whether it is the relativity, because for when I'm talking with upper G6 folks, my usual go-to is the cube, because that's probably going to have more DPR. You're going to have more seats available than their G6 ship, and a pretty high DPR. But going back to that G7 point, like, even now with that crewing being out and those authors being higher, you can use your cube, and right, as Brian is pointing out in the chat, like, he's taking the approach of not going as hard on the G6 FKR ship until the timing is right, and using that to be able to get him a better placement, going after the Vengeance. And maybe please correct me if I'm misinterpreting what your approach has been, Ryan, but just that sort of as an example. And so some of it, they're doing a lot to try and make the FKR ships more attractive. It just, some of the G6 ships, the firing patterns are so bad.
Yep.
So bad.
That's true.
Like, I look at the Kaskari and, like, I know everybody's like, it's got a great round 1, and I'm like, great, but if you're in round 2, what are you doing in round 2?
Mm-hmm. That's a fair point, man. And that's why things like the relativity and the GS31 and the cube are sometimes better than any of your G6 FKR ships. Like, I full on agree, man. Full on agree. Jim Pie says, if you are free to play or low spend, the vengeance is your friend. That's a, if you're a spender, the vengeance is your friend too, says Pyramir. I think that works a little bit of both ways. Like, it's going to take me a while to source it, but do I want a vengeance? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I want a vengeance. Do I want to get to the Veil and start shooting at people and clearing nodes? And, am I going to be a rogue? No. But am I gonna pop into my Veil and be noticed? You damn straight I am. You know why? Because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm gonna show up, man. Show up or show out. That's it. I don't know. I feel like that this conversation, as we go back to what the main topic was, Big Booty Banger says he wants to be a rogue. I wouldn't advise it, sir. As we go back to like the main topic here, right? It's more than just CoTA. There's a lot more to it than just that. It is communication. I think that the way that this was handled, while I appreciate everything that Obsidian Hamster did, 1,000%, I have to say I'm glad to see it return. It would have been better if it was next month. That's my stance. It's not going to change. I feel like that this is a general consensus too. Like, I'm not the only one saying it. There are other people saying it. Ostis is saying it. Shiz, is that not your standpoint as well? Did I misinterpret? Next month would have been better.
I mean, well, and I think even to add just a further nuance, next month would have been better, but just even because I think part of the frustration is also when we look at the blog post, it is that level of trust that we're at right now, and it's like, well, can I trust the blog post? And then it turns around and it goes from, nope, it's done, to okay, it's back, and not like a, hey, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna see what we can do and reevaluate. Like, and so I think it's the hot to coldness of it. Not a, hey, we hear you, we're gonna do what we can. Did that seem fair, or am I coming out of strange places?
No, you're fine. Baconfish says I will be incognito in the Veil. He's not gonna bring his hat. Listen, my hat goes everywhere I go, man. There's always a hat on my head, unless I'm at home and I'm not on camera. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I'm in public eye, there's always a hat on my head, because I don't know if you guys know this or not. I'm sure most of you do, but bald. So we'll just be keeping that. His hat will be left on his server. I'll be damned. It's coming with me, bro. No, you guys both make valid points, and I have to stress this. Ostis, man, you first. I have to say, I don't think I've ever got to sit and talk with you one-on-one like this. This has been an awesome experience for me. Thank you for that. You are echoing my sentiments, and I can really look and appreciate that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Really, I do. This entire community has been so awesome and so welcoming and very, very generous, I might add. I love each and every one of you. I really do. Even though, like, RSDJ, I would kick you so hard, but I would also give you a hug, my guy. Just really. Because
I think I will mimic the British sentiment to that of, bring it, bitch.
I love it. Speaking of, I did manage to get this redeem, and I wanna show it off, because I don't get to do that very often, but DJ was so kind, and he gave me a little clip the other day while he was playing Voyager. Well, he gave it to RSDJ, and I came in and yoinked it. So
the gentleman's bet between MJ Hat and RSDJ1 has gone bigger than we thought. Other servers are now pushing to go ops70. It started off as a little bet, but has gone bigger than we thought. Started as a little thing, but we inspired a lot of people to finally push up. Congratulations, MJ and RSDJ1. Congratulations. There you go.
Exclamation point join, guys. Get in on Ostis's dungeon. Ostis, thank you for that, my guy. Yeah, I've honestly, to be fair, I wasn't expecting that. but RSDJ has really brought it to a point, and I need to stress this. Maybe it would be better for you to do it, RSDJ. Can you tell chat? And I know we just went into ads, so sorry. I forgot I did this. I'm gonna change that. That one's too bad. So RSDJ, if I could you tell chat and Ostis and Shiz what you were telling me in DM the other day about your server?
Right, my server, everybody's got a bit stagnant recently. We have one alliance where they don't follow any rules, so obviously it's fun playing with them. But everybody's kind of got into the game. It's like, oh, well, I'm here, I'm going to save up and then push up like 2 or 3 ops at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But this gentleman's agreement that we have between us, everybody's like, oh, crap, who can anybody get to 70 before them? And it's really thrown our entire server out of whack, because the people that are at 70 that have been bullying everybody else are now suddenly realizing, yeah, we're catching you incredibly fast.
That's
Well,
fair.
I think the one thing with the push to 70 though, and this is one thing that I like about this is probably the one thing about G7 that I wish certain other parts of the game had captured a little bit more, is the Ascension hostiles. I like a little bit of the, you must be this ready before you proceed further. And in some ways, like G5, there was, what was it, ops56 or whatnot, where you had to finish your ACC. And like, I know so many people viewed that as a pain point, but I feel like it was sort of a, are you working with your alliance? Are you going to armadas? Are you engaging with those? Are you making sure to go big? Are you pulling the armada chests? But I mean, if you look at, because like G3 initially had that, like, you have to use a ISS Jelly or a G3 Epic and do a Epic Armada on a Friday. Didn't matter what kind. Could have been Eclipse, could have been whichever, but yeah, just had to do one.
Yeah.
But like but after that, it was sort of, we haven't really seen any other checkpoints.
Well, I'll give an example about my server. We have a load of like ops62, 63 players that are able to hit the 65, 66 Vijas and do it all in one run. But they didn't want to move up, and now it's a case of just go for it, guys.
Yeah, I think that's right, man. I think that there's a lot of players, and you saying that, RSDJ, I've got to tell you, that makes me feel a kind of way, because if I've helped motivate people to progress in their game, and I'm not saying ops up right now today, do it now, or you're gonna miss out on this. You might, but that's not really the point. I play at your own pace, please. My pace is a little faster than, say, who's a good example? Mufasa. If I may call on you for just a second. Mufasa is a leaderboard addict, okay? He's very spoken about that. He's very clear that he is part of Leaderboard Addicts Anonymous. I think I'm getting that right. So he's kind of staying in the G4 range because he can clear these leaderboards. That's awesome. If that's how Mufasa wants to play his game, that's great. I've got nothing against that. Will he miss out on some things? Sure. But in the grand scheme of things, if he's having fun, G3, excuse me, I'm sorry, I thought you were G4, early G4 for some reason. If he's having fun, then that's him. That's all that should matter, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying here? I've got to go back to play at your own pace. But if I help people think, okay, well, maybe I can go to that next tier. Maybe I shouldn't be scared to go to G7. Maybe I shouldn't be afraid of going to 61. Maybe I shouldn't be afraid of G5. And the list goes on. Then that means I'm doing something right. And I'll take that. I'll take that. So, Pyramir says games are all about fun, but at some point you do have to move up. If that's your wish.
What I'm telling people on my server is STFC, it's not Farmville.
It kind of is, but I get your point.
I mean,
I get your point.
it also really depends because, like, for example, an approach I've sort of taken is I like making sure there's a lot of punch up. I mean, I don't know about. I'm gonna just ask a loaded question for a second, if I might. Where are you guys hitting on the new armadas?
On
I
the,
am hitting. Oh, go ahead,
Go ahead.
MJ.
No, you go first, Austin. I'm fine.
I'm hitting the 67s, and I'm using Max Fort and Cerritos Boost on all three ships, and then Lorca's Fist, and I'm able to take out 5 per hull or at a time. So I haven't tried the 69s, but I am using all the buffs and doing it pretty easily. So,
So
but I'm getting those 50 points per.
yeah,
So I'm able to complete the event, no problems. I haven't tried punching up because I don't see a benefit to it. I want to just knock them all out, one or 2 days.
yeah. Star Trek Farmville Cooperative. That's fair. That's fair. Let me answer this question because I'm gonna have to grab baby again. For me, I'm also hitting 67s. I have 2 levels of the Apex research though, because of that generous donation that no one will tell me who it was, which is fine. The thing is, like, I think I could do the 69s because I can do 3 of the 67s right now, just back to back to back. But that again is with my Defiant buff, with my Maximum Fort, all 3 ships Cerritos, Lorca's Fist. Like, I'm doing all the things. I don't have an Excelsior yet, but I would imagine the buff from it is not that great, correct? Like, I don't know.
No,
It it also really depends on its research. But yeah, as Austin was saying, it's kind of like maybe at some point it gets good.
Maybe. I hate maybes.
I doubt
But
it.
what about
It's
you,
hard.
RSDJ? Let me ask, because this is Shiz's question. Have you been hitting the new armadas?
Yes, I have.
And
The best I can do, and I lose 2 of my best ships to it, but my third, just to say, survived full buffs, full fleet commanders. I can do a 58.
oof, oof, oof. Okay,
Ouch.
but you're completing your event, right? Like, you're still getting your points. Yes.
Oh yeah, my main concern over the last 7 days has been the GS31 beam. Because I
That's
have
fair.
lost so many waves on the last round because the beam is just not firing.
Pyramir
Is
says
it
how many
not
people could
firing or is it
kill?
delayed?
It's
If it's delayed, it's delayed by about, I don't know, 5 or 6 days.
oh
Yeah,
god.
mine's 6 seconds. Mine is 6
Yeah,
seconds.
I've been struggling with the GS31 beam too. Pyramir in chat says, how many people could kill the Eclipse 45s right off the bat? Nobody. It's a new armada. You will get there. And that's fair. That's fair, man. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot argue that. Shiz, where are you punching? Because again, you're the above average player here. You're the guy that can hit the 71s at 66. 67 now, I think. Hey Zero,
Well,
welcome
no,
in. Can we get a shout out for Zero, please? Um
I
where are you punching?
I haven't yet gotten to 67. I'm that's the debate of when I'll do that. Um, so as long as I throw the kitchen sink at things, so I'm talking max for Cerritos and Defiant boost on at least 2 of the ships. If I'm feeling really over the top, throw some of the buffs on the 3rd ship as well. Throw in Lorca's Fist, I think, is optional, but it doesn't hurt. And even throwing in a cloak, I can double tap the 69th. I've of the times that I've done that, I think I'm at like 3 or 4 runs where I've done that. I had one time where the second go didn't go out well. Now, one of the key things in there, that first level of the shred research is huge. And the reason that I say that is it's 40,000%, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually, yeah, because it's an on target effect. That 40,000 you get three times, one for each ship, and it's really 120,000. And it takes the 20,000 barrier down to, I think it was like 7 or something like that. Like um it just drops it to the floor. So now instead of having just some of your shot go through, it moves it to nearly everything. And I can give you the exact number in just a second because I have a log that pulls it. Because shout out to sudo and .phd, it'll tell you what the barrier that you experience in combat, and it brought it down to 17. So basically 0.2% going to apex barrier.
Right.
Versus having to do 3 times the damage just to get your total shot off.
Well, and I want to say this because Jeff sent me a screenshot of a log. Right, this is him at 71 punching down to the 69s. Okay, and his Crenshaw is tier 12. It's barely taking any damage. So Jeff, I would advise trying the 71s at least. Can you not clear them, or what's the holdup? Is it the crit damage research? Is it Deanna Troy? Like what's the problem? Because Deanna should nullify that for you if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, Shiz. You're better at that than I am. But at 71, that's when you want it, right?
Yeah, well, when you go to 72, because it is generational. So it basically is the G5s get some ISO damage. The G6, they introduce barrier. And then G7, they introduce the critical damage as an ability. Because before that, they get that as a ship ability or a buff or whatever we want to call it. You can zero out the crit. So you want it to crit. If it critted all day long, you would take no damage in these.
Right. Those,
but so at
they did zero. They abbreviated power. I'm reading the chat. Continue, Shiz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if it helps, in the stage to this, I just put the logs from that I ran actually before joining the stage this evening.
Sure.
Like, and the funny thing is, like as I said, that's throwing everything at it. It's a whole lot of buffs. It's still, because like I said, there's one of the times where the RNG just hit the cube too hard, and for me, with where things are, the cube is what is doing most of the damage. Like if you even want to scroll down just a little bit, it'll show the damage output. And I don't know whether it's the buffs helping out or just the Maverick research starting to show up just a little bit higher on there where it shows the damage of all 3. And the cube is dominating on the deep damage dealt. But the Velux is coming up right behind it. It's the table right between the two.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going through this like I've looked at this tool only a couple of times, and I'm trying to Sudo did wonderful work on this tool. I have to say that because shout out to him for being awesome.
Yeah,
it's your key.
So that one
right here,
there,
it says your damage. It's 14.75 trillion. Out of everything else, you can put the other two together and they equal that. So these are the exact same ships I'm using, Shiz. What tier is your Velox?
It is tier 9. Like it is naked after the cube tier.
Right. Can I share the PhD link? I sure can. Just a second, and I'll put that in the chat. You did.
That in the chat.
All right, fair enough.
But the thing that's funny is I feel like the cube before was in some of the prior runs, especially before some of the progress on Maverick research, was doing like 16 trillion. But slowly the other ships are kind of creeping up a little bit because like this run today, I threw Cerritos and Defiant buffs on all 3 in the hopes that maybe I could go for a third. And the thing that's funny, and I'll put since I'm going to talk about the other log as well, I'll put that in chat as well.
Please.
But if you have Sloan's skill, counter surveillance or something along those lines is the name of it. But it is a skill where for a cloaked ship, it takes away all the mitigation. So against a hostile, it drops the mitigation pretty significantly. If you look at the mitigation on the cube, or not the cube, the Conqueror solo, in that first log, you'll see that the mitigation is only. Sorry, I couldn't
These are
find
the
it.
s-
15
these are the
point-
same log, Shiz. These are the same log. I pulled up
Oh,
the second one first. That's on me. That's on me.
Okay.
Just a second. Let me get the
Yeah.
first log from the Discord.
Yeah. That's
boom,
totally
there you
fine. But you'll see in that one he's showing right now that it's 65.7% to the standard mitigation. When he pulls up the other log, you're gonna take a look at that mitigation, and you'll see that it's
Here.
now been dropped to 15.2.
Yes. I see that.
So yeah, so that means that not only have we dropped the apex barrier, but by cloaking one ship, just one ship with cloak, we've dropped that standard mitigation, and we're getting more damage in on the target
by over 50%. Well, right around 50%. So that's actually huge. That's quite huge.
And this goes back to, because I think that Sloan fleet commander skill was first brought up with the continuum loop and the polygons, and a statement of like, hey, if somebody's willing to bring in a cloaked ship, you can knock down all this mitigation that they have, and so much more of your shot can go through.
Right.
So there's that aspect being thrown at it. There's making sure your fleet commander skills are set to armadas, and if you, for example, have Janeway seated, her ability for solo armadas gives you a bit more of a boost than her ability for all armadas, and it's just each of those little things like that, and then tweaking around like that.
Lost in, buddy. Welcome in. Good to see you, my guy. How are you this evening? Good to see you, man. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Lupin.
We're just kind of sitting here going over some logs and talking about the new armadas, talking about CoTA, talking about all the things, and some of this conversation is part of what you were having last night with DJs. There's a lot of Robin, appreciate the follow. Thank you for that. Yep, thank you for that, Zero. There's a lot of sentiment here that we've kind of back and forth a little bit. Ostis is on the stage with us, as well as RSDJ and Shiz. You are also welcome to come up. If anybody actually would like to, I just got to keep it to a limit of 6 people to the stage, just so it doesn't get crazy. But, Lost In likes crazy. Who are we kidding? Pyramir says the research is massive. People can do the research and match the results people are achieving with a much higher level ship with no research. I agree with that, Pyramir. The research makes all the difference in being able to do things. Me personally, thank you, Lost In. Thank you for the NSYNC. You're such a wonderful gentleman. Appreciate that. And Baby Shark. Oh God, here we go, Lost In. Let me just pull up my Maverick task right quick while we're talking about this, because I am very proud. I was actually able to complete this week. I was able to do all mine because of that. Again, that donation that I received for that pack. It helped me speed through my research, and now I'm getting multiple tiers of different
masturbator.
things.
Thank you, Zero.
My daily
pulls yet. Oh
thank
my
you,
god.
Zero. You're such a sweetheart. You're such a sweetheart for that. I don't know. I just, there's a lot here, and it could go both ways, right? Like, yes, hold on, honey, I'm getting you. One sec. There's.
Well, and I feel like with
the right words.
I feel like with the whole Maverick loop, I do get that there was a lot of frustration with it, but I feel like this is at least one loop where it's a very clear vision of there's meant to be ramp in. It's just whether there's that feeling or not of doing well enough as we enter into it, or if it's just a feeling of like beating our heads against the wall as we work our way in. I mean, at least that's the take I have on it.
Ostis, RSDJ, what are your thoughts?
Well, I finished mine, but the struggling with the getting the Armada starts for the Conqueror Borg Armadas. There's not many in my alliance that can actually do it. We've done the first part, and that's about as far as we get every single time.
I think that's fair. Ostis, what about you, man? Sorry, I had to grab a baby.
Oh, you're fine.
Please,
I haven't
please
had
tell
an,
me
I
it's
have
not baby and not just a random one.
Thanks, RSDJ. Go ahead, Ostis.
originally with the armadas, I was hitting or punching way down because I was struggling with them until I just found the right crew. So that first week I did that. I was planning on doing the 595,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's I was like, okay, that'll work. But as I got my crews all figured out and decided to finally buff. I usually don't ever buff. I don't use any buffs,
Oh yeah.
but you kind of have to. And
Right.
once I was able to,
Goodness.
I just tried because I saw Shiz was saying he was able to punch up, and he started posting screenshots. I can't remember whose stream it was on, but it showed him punching way up. So I was like, all right, screw it, I'll try it. And once I hit the 67s, that 50 per uh, Armada win, that's enough to say I can complete this event just by doing my 7. So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. As far as the alliance tasks go, not really paying much attention to it. This loop isn't very engaging for me. It's just another Armada.
Yeah.
I don't know why the rep is so. I mean, I guess they want this loop to stay around forever because my rep doesn't seem like it's budging.
Oh
It
yeah,
So
my
it's
rep is barely moving. I haven't even hit Maverick yet. So
it's
not
going to
Maverick. I
take a
haven't
little.
even. Yeah, I
Sorry.
haven't
Go
hit
ahead.
freelancer yet.
Okay.
yeah, so my
That.
main hang up right now is I have the ability to take data to tier 2, but
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
But you don't have the credits.
No, I think I saw Loston had him at tier 2. I don't think I've seen anybody else that's got him at tier 2. So
Um.
I've got 11,000 credits I think right now, but I don't know if I'll be able to get up to I'll get up high enough to tier him anytime soon.
Well,
Actually,
and
MJ, that
that's.
was something I was going to ask you regarding the Maverick faction.
Uh-huh.
What level is your warp dive bar?
25 right now, and I'm holding my mats for thank you for the 3 stream streak, Lost in. Appreciate that. I'm holding my mats for this run of CoTA because I'm sure that is actually one of the currencies. So I
Right.
think I can only
The
take it
reason
one
I was
more.
asking, the reason I was
Yeah,
asking is because you had a pack donated, yeah,
correct.
which got you straight to the building level 20.
It did.
I am free to play, and today, including the battle pass that I bought today, because I always try and catch it in the last couple of days, I've got mine to 19 already.
Well, that's actually pretty good. That means you're making hella progress, bro. Because the idea is that it was going to take 3 weeks, if memory serves, when this came out, and that's where we're coming up on, right? It was
Yeah,
going to take
it's
three
completely free to
weeks
play. It's completely
to
free
get to
to
that.
play apart from the battle pass. I've got mine to 19 today.
Not right on, man. Right on. As soon as you get your task key, I would suggest holding it until the next week. And the only task you want to do with that first key, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, Lost Id and Big Booty Banger. I know you guys get multiple keys, but if he's going to have one key, he needs to save it for the new week, right? For the Armada task. Even though that's
Yeah.
a pain in the rump, that's where your payout is. So,
So
let me
yeah,
pull up a
so
milestone here.
I went back and
This is
forth if I was gonna wait till next week to use it because I just got to 20 like last night on the building because I was
Mhm.
like it was even with them announcing CoTA, I was like it's still worth it to go to 20.
yeah,
And
it is.
you know the if you need all 7 and you don't have the directives banked, wait. But because of how big that task is, I've got today, the weekend, and Monday, and right now I knocked out those 2, and that got me a big chunk of the way because I only needing to hit 5. Um, that gives that flexibility. Now, if you're 1 or 2 days to go, or you're not going to be able to hit all the armadas that you need to do, definitely hold it. But as mentioned, that task for solos, that is the one to go for. You get like significantly more on the credit than the rep.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna have to start wrapping up shop here in the next few minutes because SmackDown comes on in half an hour. So I've got that long to get everything done and whatnot. Do you guys want to go around one more time and kind of touch base on any more of the CoTA stuff, any more of the Maverick stuff, any more of anything? Oh, we lost Ostis there. Ostis, well, no, hold on. I'll bring you back. I see you. I don't know what happened to your
Well, I mean,
Discord.
obviously, he has to close down because MJ wants to watch TV with grown, sweaty men touching each other. So, hey.
Listen. What me and Buddha have this thing, okay? We do the RevX wrestling review. It's a wonderful thing. We've been wrestling fans our whole life. That's never gonna change, okay? We were tag team partners for years, so I kind of it. That was what made me start streaming again in the first place, was doing that review with him. So,
Ross, so you and Buddy did the real life grown, sweaty men touching each other.
yes, I was very active in that for a while, actually. Very much so.
Hey, 21st century, can't say anything anymore.
That's valid. That's valid.
Well,
Seriously though, any final thoughts?
If we're going around, I guess sort of to get back to how some of this started, I'd say as much as we're in a place where we need technical and quality of life improvements to happen for better sustainment of the game, we just need some building of trust and communication to help turn around the sentiment and find a better environment for all. One where everybody gets their happy. Like, players are in a good place. Where spending seems that folks are getting good return on what they put in. That Scopely is like, man, this is a great thing. We want to keep this game going because not only do players enjoy it, but they're giving us so much money because we're doing wonderful things for them.
Right.
Hell yeah. I mean, when the whole thing screwed up at the tail end of last year, how many of the big spenders just quit the game completely?
Several.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah.
And that must have cost them so much money.
Sure.
And
but
yeah, so some of it goes to how do we find the happy for everybody?
yeah, I agree. There's you're never going to please the entire player base. You might as well get that idea out of your head because it's not happening. If this group is happy about one thing, this other group's going to be pissed off about it. If this group's pissed off, this other group's going to be happy. I mean, that's just how life is. That's how things work. That's something that we should expect overall as a whole. I cannot stress that enough. Like, you have to play this game how you want to play it. You have to be how you want to be. You have to enjoy what you enjoy. A lot of you guys are here for what? The Star Trek IP, the community, it's different for everybody, but for me personally, it's this whole community. Like, there was a point in time early this year, right after Little Miss Priss here was born, there was a point in time where I didn't think I was going to be able to stream anymore. And you guys fixed that for me. You guys made sure I was here. So, the least I can do, right, is show up and be part of this community. And I enjoy it. I mean, I don't have to do all these extra things. I don't have to lurk in all these streams. I don't have to go to Nigel's stage. But these are things that I enjoy doing. You guys made that possible for me. So, and yes, I like to hear you babble too, Big Booty Banger. You should come up sometime and babble with us, like when we do open mics on Sundays. ! Join, guys. Get in on the dungeon. You'll probably beat me to it because I'm one-handed. No, I got in. So, really, though, like, the whole thing is, we kind of just have to reel it in. I tried the other day. You didn't see me. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, Crab Rave. Glad I turned that down. Lurking in the corner is the best part of the community. Hell yeah. Thank you for that, whoever did that. C Engineering.
You're talking about the community. It's a fact of we're learning as much from you as you are learning from us. Like when I taught you the other day that wait for the maintenance shield, then send your Dauntless into space.
Oh. Huh. I don't know that I like that. I'm probably going to turn that off. So, it's just a thought. Yeah, I appreciate that, RSDJ.
Yeah, and at the same time, MJ, if it wasn't for this gentleman's bet, would you have thought to pushing a 70 this early on?
No. No, I would have slowed down.
I'm not gonna lie. You are the odds-on favorite to win.
Sure.
But I am catching you, and if you're gonna win, I am gonna make you work for it.
Do you want me to actually give an update while we're here? Because I can do that.
Actually, yeah, go for it. Because I have pushed myself a lot in the last couple of days.
Let me refresh it to make sure it's the most current information and screen share. All right, so
yeah,
this is where we're at.
By the way, I hit Syndicate 50.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, bonus for me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
How are we looking?
Thank you, Bacon. Here, I'll zoom it in quite a bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Boom. That right there's where me and RSDJ stand as of a couple hours ago when the last sync was. So,
Oh, I've caught up so much.
Yes, you have, and it really worries me because you're like 500,000 under me now. I don't like it. You need to slow the fuck down. How about that? Stay there
and I was going to make you work for it.
Work on your VLOCs, okay? You stay right there. I'm gonna keep going. You stay put, okay? That's what's happening here. No,
because
seriously.
As soon as my shipyard's up, I've got the Koskari ready to go.
Oh yeah, okay. That's my bad. I forgot you were going Koskari. Which is still a good ship if you're into explorers. Interceptor for me was the better choice in the matter. I thought it was better. That doesn't necessarily mean it was. Donate to DJ? What do you mean donate to DJ? I mean, we can always donate to RS. That's true. You could donate to either one of us. That is the one thing we did say. Community donations are welcome for either competitor. So that's entirely up to you guys. RSDJ would be more than happy to provide you his links if you reach out to him through the Discord, I'm sure.
All right, mate, I want to disagree with that. Donate to MJ because he got like a mini MJ to take care of.
I appreciate that, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Nobody has to do anything, all right? The whole point is...
The way I see it is if I can get as close to I get to 77 days behind you, I'm happy with that.
I do like that you guys can hear that.
The way I see this is when we started this gentleman's agreement, I was about a month and a half to 2 months behind you. Now I think I've caught up to being about 3 to 4 weeks behind you. So I'm getting there.
That's fair.
I'm flying through Latinum though.
Yeah, man. I'm at about 150 million. So, and that's me trying to save it, which is very difficult, I might add. Here, I'm gonna put the baby back on the screen.
30 million.
I will be an agent of chaos and ask the question, how far along are your squalls, your mastery artifacts, and your dauntlesses?
My dauntless is tier 4, my squall is tier 7, and my mastery artifacts are tier 11.
Okay, let's have a look. My dauntless is tier 10. What were the other ones you asked?
Wait. Your dauntless is tier what? Tier 10?
10. So my relativity.
The squall was the next question.
I've been drinking, dude. My squall is tier 8.
And mastery artifacts coming along?
Hang on a second. My dauntless is a very pitiful tier 4.
Yeah, 10 man. That's what I was gonna say. If it's tier 10, he's bought a pack. He's bought a pack.
No, I have not bought a pack.
Well,
Um,
I'll ask this to the chat or the panel. Does anybody know why I ask about those three things?
Um,
And my mastery artifacts not doing
no, you cut out there, RSDJ.
the secrets out at the moment.
You cut
I
out
do
there.
have
Say
a
again.
couple of them max,
You do? Okay. Like,
and that's without packs. That's basically like saving up and then just blowing the entire damn thing.
yeah, man. Uh, to be honest with you, no, I don't, Shiz. To answer your question,
Okay,
the
so
mastery artifacts I kind of get, but the Dauntless in particular and the Squall, no.
okay, so what about the masteries rings true? Let's start from there and let's see if the trend emerges.
Well, I mean, because there's so much that comes from it, right? Like the mastery artifacts, they give you so much. Like, how do I say this? What is it you get? You get I have to look at it. Shit.
Like the daily claims out of them?
Well, that's one thing, but not nearly where my mind was going.
Okay, were you just looking at the power, the direct power that they provide?
No, the ability.
Yeah. That was what I meant by the direct power, is like the ability of each of
Yeah,
them. But
base weapons
but what
damage and yada yada.
but what about
ISO.
what are the daily claims for each of the mastery artifacts?
Oh, parts, mats, resources, and speed ups.
Okay, and what's the lat spend that you guys are running into?
Speed ups. I struggle with speed ups. I struggle hard with speed ups. I've done really
Yeah,
well. No,
I've been doing a lot of rep grinding in Mirror Romulus just for those 15-hour speed ups.
those things that I have zero of.
And that sort of jumps. That
I
sort of
am
jumps ahead.
MJ. I'm completely zeroed on Sigma speed ups.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah, I need to go back in there for like 5 or 6 hours tonight.
Like 0 across the board, or just 0 15 hours?
0 across the board.
What?
That's insane.
How do you think
That's
I've
insane.
caught up so bloody fast?
He's blew through his Latinum and his speed ups catching up. Let me see if
One
this
second.
works, Dark Tree. Does that work? Let me know. Yeah, he did 0. You're right. 1000% blew his load.
Why do you think I'm a dad as well?
Ha! That's what she said. No, seriously though, guys, like there is so many like why the
cost-
Dauntless?
So the Dauntless is, it goes to that mirror farming, is as you tier it up, because as several people have pointed out, like I've only taken it in there a few times, but
Mhm.
the further it gets around tier 4, tier 5, you can start sending it to the 68 system. I think at 65, I put it in there. It got about like 60 of the mirror surveys. The further up you go, the more you can, and not only can you send it and have it survive, but the timer gets closer and closer to most of its time in there. And so
Right.
instead of having to go and manually farm those speed ups, you can have it go, have it speed through, and do that whole run, or make it easier for you to do more than one ship farming in the mirror universe to
Right.
get more of those 15-hour speed ups. Because I mean, so all three of those, because on the Squall Refinery, both from the rare transition canister and from the Squall Strongbox, you get Sigma speed ups. The Dauntless, you get it off of farming in the mirror, and then one of the mastery artifacts, and I think at max it's about 50 hours off the mastery. Now, granted, there are a lot of other places that we see Sigma speedups sprinkled in. We see them in the G6 Armada pulls. We see them in like DTI, Terran, and I forget where else. Places where you can get some extra pulls to hopefully help a little bit more speed ups. And I put just sort of as a comparison where my speed ups, the Sigma being mixed in with the non in the chat in case you want.
No, you're
Oh, that's a
you're
thought.
fine. I
MJ,
appreciate
I
that.
don't know if you were watching DJ's stream last night, but I hold
Oh.
my hands up to it. I got humbled last night.
I was
I
there.
went,
I seen what you said.
yeah,
But go ahead and
yeah.
repeat it. That way chat can hear it.
I'm up 66. I have an 8.5, coming up 9 billion at Negvar, full PvP crew. I got humbled by a G5 player,
Oh shit.
and I barely scratched him.
Yeah, I mean that.
I don't know why, because of his Forbidden Tech and his Chaos Tech, because he has an absolutely maxed out Soren's Trilithium that apparently you are never getting through that shield.
Oh no, probably not. Probably not. And I bet it was a Roddy too, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that explains it. The shot pattern alone is much better than what you have, even with the G5 Epic, as Zero is saying in chat. So that's very valid, man. Yeah, I don't know about the Epic, but maybe the rare. I know I could take down cubes with my Roddy, tier 15 cubes or whatever it was for the G6 rare. I keep forgetting which tier it is.
14
but
for
guys,
the uncommon, 15 for the rare.
as bad as I hate to,
that was the most humbling experience I've had, thinking I can take this guy, and then I hit him, died, looked at the battle log, and it's like I did almost no damage to him.
Yeah. I am going to have to go ahead and start the raid because I'm going to have to go. I got about 10 minutes and I need to kind of whirlwind and clean up right fast because my toddlers run around behind me for a while. So, Broken Wolf, thank you for that. Guys, let me just say, and let me go back to the screen here. I want to thank Ostis and Shiz and RSDJ for coming up. We will try to be live tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet because if we are, it'll be a bonus stream. We might be doing some Voyager, or I might just come back to this topic and we might talk about it a little bit more. Depends on what's happening in the community. So thank you for that, C. Appreciate the mystery box there because you never know what you're gonna get. So with that being said, I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for popping on the stage. Chat, thank you for listening to us bullshit for a little while. Just kind of trying to express CoTA and whatnot. With that being said, Broken Wolf, hit the button. Stay frosty, y'all. Be good. Catch you on the next
one. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, Ostis, I think this is the first I've gotten to actually hear you and converse.
Yeah, it's I don't do that. So